Welcome to No Life Digital, where I talk about tech, gaming, and culture. Today, I want to talk about my small home studio setup. So what you see here is where I shoot most of my video, almost all of my videos for my other channel, DIY or Die Vaping, which is about creating your own vapor products. And I've done that channel for years. I've spent many times trying to figure out the best way to create good, high production value content while minimizing my workflow. I'm a one-man band. It's only me. I have to operate the camera. I have to operate the notes. I have to operate the entertainment, operate everything that goes on, the lighting. So over the years, I've been blessed to test out a lot of gear and fine-tune my workflow for something that I think is not only good looking, but put together the type of content that I want to in the way that I want to, just like that. So what you're looking at is actually my Canon EOS R. I normally shoot with the Sony A7R III as my main ATEM, but I've since switched to Canon, and I think I'm going to replace all my Sonys with Canon once this new Canon R5 comes out. But for now, I have the Canon EOS R there, and we'll talk about the Sony A7R III in a minute. I also have my Sony A6000 right here. This is the ATEM. It runs into my Blackmagic ATEM. This Sony here also runs into my Blackmagic ATEM, and then I have my iMac, which runs into the ATEM as well. So I have three inputs that go into this ATEM Mini that spits out to my gaming PC. This whole home studio was such an issue because this didn't exist. This type of product didn't exist on the lower end kind of consumer prosumer market. For $300, you are able to switch between all these HDMI inputs seamlessly. You don't have to worry about different codecs. You don't have to worry about different frame rates, different form factors, different sensor sizes. It just kind of takes it all in and spits it out and spits out a 1080p image that looks really good. That's the biggest downside, obviously, is that it doesn't spit out a 4K image. All of my input sources go into here. This is number 3. You're watching the number 3 cam here. If I switch to number 2, press auto, it just fades to the second cam. And if I switch to source 1, which is my iMac, it switches to that cam. I can go back to source 2, turn on my picture-in-picture seamlessly. So quick. This little product changes the entire way that I looked at my home studio, because now I don't have to deal with multiple cam links and overloading my USB buses. I don't need to worry about, keeping all the codecs the same and it was just such a hassle before, the way that I was jerry-rigging it last time. If you are someone who's looking to get into content production and you have multiple cameras, which will absolutely increase the look of your production, I highly recommend looking into the ATEM Mini. I cannot wait to see how they upgrade this. I would love to see a 4K option. I'm sure it's coming soon. That is still in the the consumer side. Another great thing about this is that all the input sources also bring along their own audio. I only have the audio set up for my iMac because I'm shooting my audio through my Shure SM7B through XLR. That goes underneath the table and goes over to my ZTE Pro. I'm going to go over there in a second and show you how this all kind of works, but this is separate audio. I do, however, have the iMac piping audio to the ATEM Mini, which shoots out as a separate source in OBS through the ATEM Mini, which is great. Now there's two outputs from the ATEM Mini. The ATEM Mini shoots out to USB, which I have connected to my gaming PC. And then we also have a program out shooting to a little mini monitor here. And I just use this mini monitor as a way to sometimes use it as a separate display for the iMac. But then I can also use it as a program out, and then that's basically my program out screen, which will show me exactly what you guys are seeing. Now, the way that I control OBS from this seat, because OBS is on a different PC, is through Stream Deck, and I use Stream Deck's app. But this is how I control OBS, and I'll have a bunch of different input sources here. I can control my audio here. I can play or stop recording here as well. But really the only interfacing that I need with OBS is start recording, start streaming, maybe switching sources, maybe turning down alerts or something like that. There's not many times I need to go into OBS, just because all of basically my editing happens on the ATEM Mini. And that is one of my favorite things about it, is that it not only cuts down your workflow in terms of live production, but it cuts it down in terms of something like this, video production. No longer do I need to shoot simultaneous cameras all at the same time with all different angles, sync all the audio up with each individual camera, and then, edit the camera cuts that way. I do all the camera cuts and all the editing this way. I can just keep switching at my heart's desire, and that's it. All the editing is done through here. All right, so now we're at the desk, and here is where most of the podcast takes place. We're actually shooting on the ATEM Mini right now. We're shooting through the Canon EOS R because I want to show you some of this stuff, but we will be switching to the Sony in a second. So this is basically my setup. This screen right here dictates what's going on my gaming PC, which is a 9700K with a GTX 1080 Ti. And this screen here dictates the second PC, which is underneath the desk. That is a Skylake 6700K with a GTX 1080. And the only purpose that this PC does is essentially capture what's going on my gaming PC. So that's why I call it the gaming PC, but it also runs all of the ATEM stuff when I'm doing stuff like this. But if I am doing some gaming and I do want to capture that gaming in the best quality, I do it through the streaming PC. And I also, this is like the Netflix screen or just a miscellaneous screen. So that's how that works. On the gaming PC, there's also an HD 60 Pro, which my consoles go to. And I don't know if you can see here, but we have a Nintendo Switch, we have a PS4. Sometimes I put the Xbox in there. And the gaming PC will actually capture the console stuff because I just don't have enough bandwidth on the streaming PC to capture both the 4K 60 Pro as well as the HD 60 Pro. The audio you're hearing is different because it's a different mic. This is the Warm Audio 414, I believe. I forget the name of it, but it is a Warm Audio microphone. It sounds excellent. Nonetheless, it also goes into the ZE-8, which is my mixing board. So the mics you heard over there, as well as any audio that comes from the streaming PC, goes into this thing here, and I can control all of my levels right here on the mixing board. It's excellent. The problem with this mixing board is that there are new mixing boards out now that offer multiple inputs for Windows. This only spits out, I believe, 2 inputs, which goes through OBS, and that's not enough. I want to be able to control 4 different inputs, and that's why a lot of people enjoy the Go XLR. But I mean, it's an excellent mixing board. It's got excellent preamps in there. It's easy to use, and it's quite affordable. So if you're looking for something like that, the ZE-8 is not bad. This spits out to 2 PreSonus 5s that sound really good. Not the craziest speaker monitors, but they do sound pretty good. I also have a Focusrite here, and this is capturing audio from the streaming PC. So I go from out of the Focusrite into the mixing board, and that allows me to capture any audio that's happening on here, should I need to. You can hear that. Now there's a PreSonus AudioBox i2 here, which used to capture the audio. I used to use just the Focusrite and the PreSonus before I had the ZE-8, but now I just use one of them. I don't need it. I also have one output coming from the ZE going into the Focusrite for when I want to capture audio for the streaming PC. So when I'm gaming on the gaming PC, it spits out a sound that goes into the Focusrite and gets captured onto here. Very convoluted setup, and I am looking for a much better way to capture both PCs, but this is what I found so far to work for me. Behind me, I have a MacBook Pro 16, which is basically anytime I leave the house, this is what I bring with me. Love this fucking thing. It is so fast. I think it actually might be faster than my streaming PC. Now, I know all of what I said is a little convoluted, but let me try to simplify it. Basically, everything over there in that area gets captured through the ATEM Mini. The ATEM Mini has one USB out that goes into this gaming PC here. This gaming PC gets caught up into OBS. The audio all gets piped into this ZE-8, which also gets piped into the gaming PC. And that's it. So all I have to worry about for audio is where it is on the ZE-8, and all I have to worry about for video is where it is on the ATEM Mini. And that also includes anything that I do on the iMac. So any sort of like commentary videos that we do, or any sort of web pages that I need to bring up, it all just seamlessly comes together into the gaming PC with edits, with on-the-fly editing that I've already done. And all I need to do is just refine the video in Final Cut or in Premiere Pro, and shoot it out. And it looks great. It's not the highest resolution. It's not an 8K Marcus Brownlee video, but it's good enough. It is good enough, and it allows me to produce the kind of content that I want to produce while just minimizing workflow. Lastly, when we do the podcast, I open that up through Zoom, and then I just utilize the Sony cam here. And now I have my webcam set up, and you can get a nice view of all behind me. It's blown out well because I'm shooting it on an A7R III, which is a great full frame camera, but also the 24-70 G Master. One of the reasons why I wanted to bring the Sony onto this side and not over there is because it just looks so much better closer, and that camera has to be pretty far away. And also I'm not too worried about depth of field with that camera A. With this camera, I guess camera C, I would call it, the depth of field adds to the image and it makes it look great. And this is where I'm going to shoot most of these no-life videos when we're just doing commentary instead of having to shoot it all through over there. That's for a whole live production thing that I shoot for another channel, and also for any time we're going to do product reviews and I need to show you with the top-down view. That's where we're going to shoot that. But a lot of the stuff we could just do right here because it looks great. The way that I have this set up is through a cam link that comes out. That gets connected to the gaming PC. This, again, goes to the ZE8. Bada bing, bada boom. It's that simple. Really, it's really that simple. And this wasn't how it used to always be. There was so much more complication that was involved in all of this. Previous to the ATEM Mini, previous to the cam link, previous to a lot of these Elgato products, there was just confusion. There was all types of different codecs and problems you would run into, and frame drops, and OBS wasn't as good. Throughout the years, it's really tightened up, and it's really become something that is approachable to someone who may not be into all of the technicalities of these products. So that's it for this video. Hopefully you understood what I was trying to get at, and you saw how I put this together, and hopefully you're able to put together something similar for even cheaper of a price. I would love to know what your setups are. Leave them down in the comments. Also, if you like videos like this, don't forget to subscribe and head over to the website, nolife.digital. All right, cool. That's my setup. I'll catch y'all later. Peace.